The 2023 NFL Draft is fast approaching, and the debate is intensifying as to who the top prospects are going to be this go-round. In this video, we're going to dive into our prospective top 10 coming out of the Senior Bowl, and you can go ahead and debate us in the comments. I'm sure you will regardless, so why not embrace it? Stick around till the end to see all the picks. Let's get started. Number 10 is Andrew Voorhees. Halloween just ended at the time of writing, so it's a little bit late for the obvious joke we could make here, sadly. Anyway, Mr. Voorhees, a 6'6", 325-pound OL out of USC by way of Crystal Lake, kicks off the list. He's a veteran of college football, if there can really be such a thing, given that he spent 6 years at the university, meaning he's de facto more experienced than just about anyone else entering the draft. He's been a standout left guard for USC so far this season. He's a mauler through and through, but he's also solid when it comes to moving behind the line and getting those second-level targets. It'll be interesting to see him square off against Notre Dame at the end of the regular season on November 26th. That will be the biggest test yet for Voorhees. For number 9, we have Nolan Smith, an edge rusher out of Georgia. The 6'3", 235-pound prospect is the leader of a strong defensive unit with the Bulldogs. He registered 6 tackles for a loss and 3 sacks by the halfway point of the season. The strength on contact means that he's able to put opposing linemen on the back foot, and his vicious hands and speed allow him to turn corners with ease. Smith plays off the ball excellently as well, thanks to his quickness, his hard-edged resilience when it comes to tanking lineman blocks, and his underrated diagnostic abilities. For this guy, the matchup to keep an eye on comes against Tennessee on November 5th. He's got a bit of a flight frame on him compared to other NFL edge rushers, which is definitely going to be held against him at draft time. But beating Tennessee's powerful tackles and sacking Hendon Hooker as well as curving his scrambles would do a lot to bolster him and show that despite his size, he's an asset for anyone at his position. At number 8, we've got Cody Mosh, another lineman, this one out of North Dakota State and weighing in at 303 pounds. The 6'6" Mosh became the star of the line over in North Dakota after Cordell Volson went off to start for the Bengals right out of the gate. Mosh has excelled in his place in the run game, completely bordering off defenders inside and jumping from his stance to take on corners and linebackers. It's rare that FCS defenders gain any advantage on passing plays as well, since he plays a very well-balanced and strong game on the edge. For number 7, we're looking at Dawan Jones, yet another lineman. They're popular in the high end of drafts, let's be honest here. This one is a tall boy, standing 6'8" and weighing in at 359 pounds. Dawan Jones of Ohio State looks amazing coming off the bus, but it's a lot more than just an image getting him on this list. His length and strong grip help him make a heck of a challenge for anyone looking to beat him around a corner. He overpowers his defenders on running plays by and large. A basketball player once upon a time, he's a lot more nimble than you'd expect of a guy at his size, allowing him to pull and lead and take out LBs and safeties. Scouts will be closely watching Ohio State's game against Michigan on November 26th. It is, after all, the game. And this year, Jones could really boost himself by beating out Mike Morris. At number 6, we've got Osiris Torrance. Don't be alarmed, but this is indeed the third offensive lineman in a row on this list. You simply cannot have enough big dudes protecting your QB. This guy out of Florida is 6'5" and 347 pounds. The transfer from Louisiana has adapted well to his first year in the SEC, despite missing the LSU game due to injury. Torrance has been a powerhouse off the snap, and he's been able to move defenders out of the hole in the running game. From his wide frame, you wouldn't think he's as mobile as he is, and he's flexible enough to recover and adjust for oncoming targets. For the number 5 pick, we have Andre Carter II, our second edge rusher on the list. At 6'7" and 260 pounds, he's a long one. Carter's production is actually down this year, as he posted a mesmerizing 14.5 sacks in 12 games in 2021. Clearly, teams have become a lot more privy to his presence and have sought to play around him as best they can. He's only gotten better as far as strength at the point of attack, though he looked quick in coverage too. The only particularly pass-heavy team on the schedule for the Black Knights of Army is Troy, whom they will be facing on November 12th. That's a key game for Carter, as it's a great chance to line up more sacks and make for what has otherwise been a bit of a disappointing season in that regard. At number 4, we've got Zay Flowers, our first skill position player on the list. The colorfully named Zay Flowers comes out of Boston College. A wide receiver, he stands at 5'10" and is 172 pounds. He's put in a productive year for sure, frequently winning off the line of scrimmage with his imposing speed and proving himself a serious danger for defenses with his run-after-catch potential on crossers and quick throws. The guy can really find space downfield in spite of his small build, thanks to his impressive body control and strong hands, which let him adjust to throws on the outer edge of his frame. Watch for him on November 26th against Syracuse. For number 3, we've got Tyree Wilson, a 6'6", 275-pound edge rusher out of Texas Tech. Wilson came into the season with a lot of hype, and he has not disappointed. With his size, athleticism, and reach, he's managed to rank among the national leaders in tackles for loss and sacks. He's definitely definitely strong enough to take on NFL tackles out of a 5 technique position, yet fast enough to play on the edge. He bends or straight up demolishes his man with his power to get at the QB, whilst also tracking plays to the flat. For number 2, it's Jaelyn Duncan, the 5th and final offensive lineman on this list. Jaelyn Duncan is a 6'6", 320-pound prospect out of Maryland who has impressed all with his athleticism this year, not only in his smooth moves in pass protection, but also in his agility in getting to targets in the open field. The left tackle out of Maryland is pretty tough to beat off the edge, particularly when momentum is on his side and he's able to put his heavy hands to work. He can also really drive his man in the run game. Watch for him on November 19th against Ohio State. He'll have to be aggressive when he takes on Zach Harrison, the edge rusher for the Buckeyes, not to mention their tough LB core. And number 1 is who else but Will Levis. What's a draft without a star quarterback? A sad state of affairs, that's what. But never fear, the 2023 draft has you covered with none other than Will Levis out of Kentucky. At 6'3", he's a tall one and sturdy enough at 232 pounds as well. He's proven his arm strength time and again with deep balls as well as throwing darts through tight windows, but he's also shown off some touch on his shorter throws and over the top when necessary. The guy has exhibited real toughness in running the ball himself as well, after coming back from a foot injury and taking heavy shots after his throws. He was certainly expected to look the part of a superstar coming out of last year, and he's had very few surprises in 2022, which in his case is fantastic news. For Levis, the game to watch is definitely the November 19th battle against Georgia. That will for sure be his most watched tape during the pre-draft process, good or bad, as Georgia is by far the best team they're expected to face this year. And for Levis, he'll need to avoid brutal edge rushers like the aforementioned Nolan Smith, as well as interior studs such as Jalen Carter. Plus, he'll be tested against a strong secondary from the Bulldogs too, where he'll be expected to make solid decisions in the blink of an eye. And that is all the time we have for today's video. Do you agree with our list? Are there any placements that you find just absolutely absurd? The world of college ball is a huge place with literally hundreds upon hundreds of players, so no doubt there are many interesting prospects we haven't yet mentioned. By all means, let us know your personal choices for a prospective top 10 draft board, not just who you think will go, but who you might take if you were the one in charge. Be sure to let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and until next time, thanks for watching.